So you're building a career in hospitality? Well, let me tell you, the ground is shifting right under your feet. The old playbook, it's gone. Toss it out. We're now in this complex digital world. So today, we're going to break down this new hospitality ecosystem, and I'm going to give you the blueprint for not just surviving, but actually thriving in it.
Okay, so here's our game plan. First up, we're going to look at this massive shift in the industry's whole landscape. Then we'll dive right into the key partnerships you've got to manage, the tech you absolutely need to master, and of course, the data you'll be using. And to wrap it all up, we'll talk about the leadership skills you're going to need to pull this whole thing together. Ready? Let's jump in.
All right, first things first, we need to get our heads around the biggest change of all. The entire structure of our industry has been flipped on its head. I mean, seriously, forget that simple straight line from the hotel straight to the guest. That's old news. We're now playing in this incredibly complex digital web, and it's crucial we understand exactly how it all works.
You know, back in the day, things were so much simpler. The whole value chain was, well, a predictable line. A guest needed a room, they'd come directly to you. Easy, right? But today, whoa, it's a completely different ballgame. We're operating in this super complex, interconnected ecosystem. Your hotel is now smack dab in the center of this huge web, and you're juggling relationships with countless digital partners and platforms, all at the same time.
So, what exactly is this digital ecosystem we keep talking about? Well, here's a good way to think about it. It's less like a simple straight road and a lot more like a massive bustling city. You've got your technology providers. They're the ones building the infrastructure, the roads and buildings. Then you have the distribution platforms. Those are the superhighways bringing all the guests into your city. Your data partners? They're your intelligence network, giving you the scoop on what's happening. And the service integrators? They're the ones making sure all the traffic flows and everything connects smoothly. Honestly, your success now completely depends on how well you can navigate this crazy, exciting city.
Okay, let's zoom in a bit. We're going to focus on the most visible part of this whole ecosystem, your distribution partners. Think of them as your digital front door. It's how pretty much the entire world is going to find your hotel. And believe me, getting this relationship right is, well, it's absolutely critical. So, we're talking about the big players here, right? Your online travel agencies, or OTAs, your global distribution systems, the GDS, and those meta search engines. These guys are the absolute giants when it comes to getting guests. They can give you incredible visibility and really drive demand. But here's the catch. They also have a huge say in everything from your pricing to where your brand sits in the market. And that kind of power, well, it requires some really careful, really strategic management on your part.
The most important shift you have to make is in your mindset. You've got to stop being reactive and start being strategic. See, you can't just sit back and respond to whatever these platforms throw at you. No way. You have to be in the driver's seat, actively managing that relationship. It's this constant balancing act, right? You're trying to leverage their incredible reach, but at the same time, you have to maintain control of your own brand and your own business. Okay, so distribution is huge. We get it. But let's look inside the hotel now, because your internal technology is just as critical. I'm talking about your tech stack. That whole collection of software that runs your day-to-day operations. And let me be clear, it can either be your greatest asset or your biggest liability. There's really no in-between. So what's the goal here? It's to create what we call an integrated digital environment. Basically, a world where all your different systems are talking to each other seamlessly. No hiccups, no miscommunications. And that integration, that is the secret sauce. It's what separates a truly efficient modern hotel from all its competitors. Okay, so let's break down the core pieces that have to work together perfectly. Think of your property management system, your PMS, as the operational brain of the hotel. Then you've got your CRM. That's the system that really knows your guests inside and out. Your revenue management system, it's constantly working to optimize your pricing. And finally, all your guest engagement tech. That's what creates the actual experience. Now, here's the magic. When all these systems are actually talking to each other, you don't just get a seamless operation, you deliver a far superior guest journey. And that is a massive competitive advantage. All right, now we're getting to the really exciting part, the most dynamic and maybe the most challenging piece of this whole ecosystem, data. This is the new frontier, folks. The partnerships you build around data, that's where the future of our entire industry is being written right now.
So think about it. In a world where pretty much everyone has access to the same distribution channels and everyone's using similar technology, where do you find your competitive edge? How do you stand out? Well, the answer is right here. It's in harnessing the incredible power of data, using things like advanced analytics and, you guessed it, artificial intelligence.
You see, there's a super direct link between the data you can get your hands on and the strategic power you have. It's pretty amazing, actually. When you start analyzing guest behavior, you unlock the holy grail, true personalization, but done at scale. And when you analyze market trends, you can tweak and optimize your performance literally in real time. This is it. This is how you turn a bunch of raw data into a genuine, hard-hitting competitive advantage.
But you know the old saying, with great power comes great responsibility. And it's so true here. All these data partnerships demand a super rigorous approach to handling information ethically and securely. As the next generation of leaders, you can't just be experts at using data, you have to be experts at governing it responsibly, fiercely protecting guest privacy, and making sure it's always used ethically.
Okay, so we've talked about the landscape, the partners, the tech, the data. So the big question is, how do we prepare ourselves to actually lead in this crazy new environment? Because it's not enough to just understand all the individual pieces. You have to develop the skills to manage the entire ecosystem. To really lead in this new era, you need 3 core skills. First, strategic oversight, the ability to see the whole big picture. Second, partner coordination. You got to be a master at managing that huge web of relationships. And third, ecosystem governance, making sure the whole system works together, both ethically and effectively. Think about it this way. You're not just a hotel manager anymore. You're more like the conductor of a very complex, very digital orchestra. And that brings us to what I believe is the single most critical skill for any future hospitality leader. It's something called ecosystem thinking. And I know, it might sound like just another buzzword, but trust me, it's not. It's a fundamental core competency. It's the ability to see the entire chessboard, to understand how every single piece connects to every other piece, and to make strategic moves that don't just help you, but benefit the entire system.
So when it's all said and done, your success really boils down to a simple choice. Are you going to be a passive user of this ecosystem, just letting things happen to you? Or are you going to be an active participant? Because the people who actively shape their partnerships, who integrate their technology, who really leverage their data, they're the ones who are going to win the future of hospitality. And those who don't? Well, they're simply going to be left behind. So the choice is yours. What's it going to be?